to send that, and bingo.
Right. And so I just thought it would be an interesting conversation from someone as a teacher versus someone in the corporate world who also has to make presentations. We're all salesmen, according to
Yes, that's true.
This latest book by Dan Pink is saying
yes.
that to sell is human. And so this is a guidance, and I want to confirm that in the corporate world and in your experience this is true, that if I have an ebook, perhaps it's better to take out a page from that ebook and send it in an email. And perhaps that will get read as an alternative to printing it up.
I have another. I've bought an ebook on my Kindle for the iPad,
Right.
and I lose it all the time. And I don't know how to bring it back up. Now, I haven't really spent a lot of time on it, and I did it really to test the system out. But it's not as practical as everybody is saying that it is. And Marina, my daughter, she's on ebooks all the time, and our library rents ebooks out.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, no. Via our library, you download it, and after 15 days, you send it back. So it's like a regular book.
And this is through something like Kindle.
You can download it via various mechanisms.
Okay.
But the iPad, you can download a Kindle application, so you can do it on that. But there are various formats that are available.
How is it that you're losing the ebook? Is it just in a different part of your iPad, and you just can't find it?
No, there's some sort of activation.
Oh, jeez.
Because you can't. The problem that I had with these ebooks, I said, well, after I read a book, I like to give it to people.
Right.
And they told me, well, you can't do that. And I'm saying, well, that's no good. Then, I'm really only buying my own copy, to read once, and then I can't share it. But, what I do with all my books often is, A, I have them autographed. B, I write comments in them that I leave for the next reader.
I call it a door of entry. It's you're helping the next reader know where to start in the book, because you don't often start a book, I find, at the front page. That's not really a good place to start for many books.
Yes. It depends on the type of book, but yes, I agree.
And so what I'm proposing is that there could be a list of recommendations to mentors who found a good book or a good publication. One thing to do is to get a PDF format, so then the PDF can be easily copied and shared.
Yes, that is true. What I like about the new versions of the ebooks that are out there is that they can interact with live footage. So you get, you come to a thing and then it refers to some speech given by somebody, and you can actually click through to the speech or to a movie of the scene or whatever it is.
Nice idea, and
it's working. I have an ebook such as that, which is what I downloaded, which I keep losing, I told you. But the idea is that I can flip through the pages, and then it has links when it refers to specific things, and I can actually see the live thing, or I can read it at the abstracted version of the way it was written for that, getting the essential points across.
So
you read a book for different levels of depth that are associated with it.
This is another sort of door of entry, because often there's a TED Talk associated with the author's work. So if you're able to get a sample chapter, that's the PDF, and then you also forward the TED Talk link in case they want to go hear it, and then I suppose there's little highlights. You can say, jump to page 5, or here's actually a highlighted. I found that with some PDFs, you can highlight the passage and then paste it
Yes, well, I
into
often do that. I often highlight it and save it, and and then send it that way. That way people focus in on that.
Right. So
I do that because I have a sufficiently high level of Adobe. But I can do that. I can even put comments on my stuff.
And so that's another tip for teachers. Learn how, get a copy of Adobe. It's a worthwhile investment. It's Adobe Reader, is that right?
Well, no, it's Adobe Acrobat Professional.
Because that creates the PDF.
Yes, it can create it, and then you can edit it.
And the key to being able to edit is then you can highlight to help the reader.
Well, highlight, put comments in. You can actually make changes, I think, yes.
Right, yeah, and then you're republishing in a sense.
Yes.
You're publishing an altered version. Well, I really appreciate this discussion, because I hope that other teachers will be able to see that just handing a kid a book or saying, oh, here's the web link to the ebook, go and download it and read it, is not as effective as perhaps printing out that ebook for those people and having a nice color. I'm talking even just free ebooks that are out there. You can get William Shakespeare in an ebook. But if you don't put it into a printed format, some people will not read it.
Well, it's not as, frankly, I think the size factor of what you have is very good.
Ah, you know, format is important. You're right, that half-page thing.
Yeah, and, you know, then it becomes easy, to read, and it's sort of, the kids nowadays, they don't read encyclopedias. They would never read encyclopedias, and that's because since they're very young, they have been constantly taught. I mean, I'm talking about since they're 10 years old, they have constantly been taught to abstract to the essence, because computers will do the other parts. We were still of a generation where we had to calculate out everything and compose everything to get it communicated. Nowadays, they don't do that anymore.
A professor I'm going to be visiting with, Richard Clark, made this observation in an interview a year ago. He said, there's something different about researching on the internet versus researching in a library. When he goes for a book in a library, there's always this book that's nearby because the Dewey Decimal System ranks them close. And he'll bump into a topic that he never would have bumped into if he had done the Google search, because it wasn't quite within the search terms. Yet when he walks up to the library shelf, he's confronted with these other titles.
Yes, so that can be, again, interesting, but, you know, that goes back to my library sciences topic, which is, you know, who decided that these topics were linked, and how do you figure that out? Yes, it's random, it comes together and there is sense in it, but it's not necessarily your own neural network that you're looking at, and therefore it is sometimes, it can be more precise or it can be less precise. It really depends on the objective of what you're researching and trying to communicate.
And Clark,
because I agree very strongly with what you just said.
Right.
It's just that it's sort of like, it's the reason that newspapers, you know, I can't believe how we in the 20th century got so dependent on the editorial board of newspapers to decide what are the events that are the most important in the world to discuss, or to have printed. You know, who decided on all of that? Well, nowadays with internet, there are different things that pop up to the top of the consciousness stream. And some of the things that people are working on, well, I couldn't give a damn. On the other hand, we have the JC philosophy to guide us, which is, you know, make the world a little bit better than the one that we were delivered into.